Welcome everyone to another Friday live stream. Today I am doing a one-on-one convoy with Pugwash. Welcome, Pugwash.
Evening.
We are in, let me pull up the map. We are in Cologne, Germany. We have our first load. We're headed to Leipzig, also in Germany. And we've got these Volvo excavators. Hard to see. I'll change the time. I guess I could just do it now. Whoa! Get ready for a flash. Forgot about that. All right, so that's what we're hauling. These things weigh 26 tons. We've got the horsepower. And we've got the right truck for it. We're both driving our Scanias. This is Pugwash custom truck skin that he won some time ago. And he has got this one-on-one convoy with me today that he won as part of the runners-up drawing from, I forget when, September, I think. We're a little behind on the convoys. And even, I think, some of the October. He won this for October. Yeah, we're even behind on some of the skins and whatnot. So, a lot going on. So, let's talk about, since we didn't actually, let's hold that thought, because I want to say welcome and say hello to people that are here early and on time. We've got Pugwash was the first one that I see in the live chat. Let me pull up something here for myself. Okay. And oh good, I remembered to zero out my Swifty counter. And then Ken Beard, welcome to the adventure, Ken. I know you've been with us for a while, but you just signed up for as a drive-in hauler. So welcome. Wim is here, dealing with some weather, it sounds like. Colin Percival is here. Lobo One is here. Dr. Jones is here, and proving the point that I have not updated my shout-outs list, because I can see that he has, in fact, lost his membership status. So I'll probably still do a shout-out for him. Drive is here. Welcome, Drive. Wind force 8. Wow. That sounds like some really bad weather. Edgar's Livestream is here. Oztech TV is here. Feeling better, I believe. Zero. Welcome to the stream, Zero. Mac Monday is here. Welcome. Let's see. Tasmified is here. You know, Tasmified recommended a device to hold my microphone up off the desk. I have a boom arm for it, but I didn't have the proper setup to connect to the boom arm. Thanks to him, I did order the item that he recommended, and I've got it set up right now with my microphone, and I did some tweaking. It helped a lot as far as the audio quality, just getting it up off the desk and getting it closer to me. And then I did some tweaking for my audio, and it seems to be a lot better. See what you think. Is it easier to hear? Even though I'm kind of turning my head at the moment. The microphone, if you can't, well, you probably can't see it. The microphone is over here to my right, which would be your left. But it's out of frame. So, speaking of out of frame, this thing is out of whack. Okay, so anyway, back to these. Thank you for that, Tasmified. It has made a lot of difference. Let's see. Whoops, it just jumped ahead. Nightbot is here, so watch your P's and Q's. Turn off that caps lock and don't spit out too many emojis all at once, or Nightbot will get you. Haha. Let's see. Yeah, Drive's got a new job. Gonna be starting soon. Oblivion. Wait a minute. Isn't Oblivion also Edgar's live stream? Susan Arthur is here. That's unusual that Susan would make it here. Glad she's here. Let's see. Matthew Roth is here. Good, Taz. I'm glad that it sounds better. Thomas Berger. Reefer hauler for 10 months. That's awesome. Stobbs is here. All right. So let's get on with what I was going to talk about. Pilot Bro's here. Nightbot didn't scare me. No, he can't get you because you're a moderator. Okay. Tasmified has been a flatbedder for 9 months. It is hard to believe. We've got some folks that have been members for 13 months now. That just blows me away. All right, back to this. So I don't think we touched on the design aspects behind Pugwash's truck. So, Pugwash, can you explain what the I know it's 3 feathers, the red icon on the various parts of your truck. Can you explain what that's about?
Yeah, it's the Prince of Wales feathers. Prince Charles as he was, King Charles as he is now. And in my working life, that was a symbol on my uniform for the best part of 25 years. Because I'm a retired cop. So it formed part of my uniform. I wore that on my lapel for the best part of 25 years of my 30-odd years service. In addition to which, part of my job was a traffic cop and a VIP driver, which meant escorting royal family with high-powered vehicles, etc., and being armed response officer. So it all relates back to my job. The Pugwash bit comes in as my kids. It's a program we used to watch as when they were kids, a cartoon, Captain Pugwash. And when they set me up as a user on Steam, they suggested that should be my username, so I'm lumbered with that.
Awesome. Staub says our own Welsh roser. What's a roser?
A cop.
Oh.
many words for it. A lot worse than that, some of them, but there we go.
Yes, in every
I'll
language.
Stick with roser.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's at the bottom of my coffee mug, and there's grounds. Yeah. Azenbon Gaming, welcome to the stream. Can I ask something about my presentation for the game? This is a project for English class. Well, you can ask. We'll do our best to answer. Also, I do recall you had asked you were having some problems with your game crashing on you after the update. And I noticed that your response was, or after my response to your question or comment was to check your mods, because it always seems like mods break. And there's sometimes conflicts with mods, but it sounds like you said you uninstalled and reinstalled the game, and sometimes that's the answer. But if you, a better answer before you get to that extreme is if you have the game through Steam, you can validate the files through Steam. And I can't walk you through how to do it at the moment, but that will accomplish the same thing. It won't necessarily uninstall everything, but it will almost always fixes a problem with the files. So, but again, mods, when you have an update to a new version, mods are always a culprit. Anywho, so glad you got it sorted out for now. But go ahead and ask your question, and we're going to get started driving here. And I don't have Lurch with me today, so I will be getting to the commentary as I can. So, okay, so does ETS2 really simulate the real trucking experience? Well, you're asking the wrong person. I've never driven in Europe. I mean, well, that's not true, I have. But I've never driven one of these types of trucks in Europe. But American Truck Simulator does that pretty well, with some limitations. And my limited experience here in ETS is it seems to be that. So I'm going to leave that to other people to answer that in the chat. JC Drives says, look out, boys, it's the Rosers. Only one.
Yeah,
right.
And I haven't got a blue light on it, so you're okay.
All right, do you want to lead the way?
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
Okay. Yeah, his response is basically derived as a result of yesterday when we did our practice convoy. He led the way and took the wrong turn, as so many of us have done.
Turn right.
I thought you were going to start out by driving on the wrong side of the road. And then until I saw those cars on the right.
Get ready to turn right.
Red light, as usual.
Yeah.
Turn right.
Well, since we got a red light, let me do a few shout outs here. Knee-High Sniper, our top ATS driver for August. Dusty, aka Dirty Dog 3436, our top ATS driver for January. Dr. Joe, oh, Casey is gifted 5 memberships. Whoops, I'm caught by the red light because I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, you're on the left-hand lane and we're going left up here in the next set of lights. So we've got green.
Congratulations to Dr. Jones, Oblivion, Keith Cersei, Lord Dragon, and Vince Morris. Light is green. You want to go? Oh, really?
Keep left, then turn left.
So, I had the right of way, but I got nailed.
Turn left.
Just rolling steadily up, just up the road from the second set of lights.
Right behind you.
Got you behind me? You got you. And we're going right to the next set of lights, which are red.
Keep right.
You're gonna have a lot of red lights.
Turn right.
Thank you, Casey, for donating or gifting those memberships. That wasn't a Swifty. I didn't cause that accident.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what just happened to me, except I got hit.
And that was a cop.
But he's obviously much more important than us.
Yeah. Speed limit 50 is. Goes up to 80.
There's Wolf.
50.
I hadn't even got up to 80 yet.
No, back down to 50. Back to 80. It's like a yo-yo. Moving over left, you're turning left up ahead. Traffic lights changing to red.
Keep left, then turn left. Turn left.
That's an interesting point, Stubbs.
Speed limit 60.
And I don't know, maybe it's different in Europe, but in the US, if you've got, from those four-wheelers' point of view, if you've got oncoming traffic, you have to wait until they pass or turned. So that's the premise I'm working from.
And set the cruise at 60.
Right, what Taz said. Trucks can't stay in the right lane without hitting the curb. Trucks have to swing wide. Susan Arthur is watching us on her new TV. Hey, we're on TV.
On the big screen.
The big screen. By the way, for everyone in the audience who's wondering, yes, we could have got on the Autobahn and it would be faster, but the route we've taken is shorter, but more importantly, it is taking us to a refueling point because I need fuel. Because I didn't think to buy the garage in Cologne.
Garage coming up on the right hand side. Or through the other side, I don't need fuel.
Let's be caught up here with the chat. Nicholas is here. Welcome. Yeah, Casey, you should have at least 16 gigabyte RAM. 8 will work if you're not pushing the system too hard. Let's see. Anybody know when ETS2 will update to 149? Yep. What Vigner said, probably within the next week. One suggestion was that it might happen on Tuesday, because they tend to do things on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hey, Lancy, welcome. And Keith Cersei. Okay. Let me finish catching up on these shout outs. Isabella Haglaw, Pilot Bro 39 is here, probably lurking because he's working. And then Rob Strecker, aka Lurch, maybe lurking. Bedrock, our top ATS driver for February, is most likely lurking while working, possibly. He's not possibly working, he is working, but possibly lurking, depending on what he's doing. Nicholas is here. TruckerKing 2010 is not here yet that I know of. Susan Arthur, our top ETS2 driver for May, is watching us on her new TV. XLT 588 Gaming. Silent Dilemma, Norwegian Trucker Nicholas, Picard Gaming. Oh, that's right, Casey. I was kind of curious why you don't normally make these live streams, so glad you made it. Big Al 2424, Tazamified is here. Lobo 1G, our top ETS2 driver for July, he's here. Pugwash, I heard of that guy. He's here. Purdy the Parrot, Asgard Drenth, aka Wim, our top ATS driver for September, and our top ETS2 driver for October, he is here. All right, so moving on. Well, Nicholas, I would start by pulling out all mods, fire up the game, make sure it all works. Well, first I'd check and see if you got any broken mods in your stack, in the active stack. And if not, because I had two mods, Realistic Rain and the top mirrors. They both had to be pulled. We're gonna pull Realistic Rain anyway. I'm ready to go. Okay. But top mirrors. But just check your mod stack and see, do you have any in that are broken? You can tell because they got a big red circle. And actually, if I wasn't already doing that, maybe tomorrow I can show. Well, I would imagine everybody gets it all worked out by then. And failing that, you can always verify your files.
Right.
Speed limit 80. I'm taking it up quietly to 75, which is maximum for us.
No, 80's max, 90's max.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, in Euro Truck. But 80 is always what we can legally do. See, now who's the one who's having trouble making the switch?
Yeah, you're right.
I was joking yesterday. I was yeah, well, it is a World of Trucks load, but it's
World of Trucks, yeah.
Yeah, 90 kilometers or 65 miles an hour. Yeah, yesterday I was having trouble because I had been driving ATS, and then we made the switch over in here to do our practice run in Euro Truck, and I kept using my clutch and trying to put it into reverse to back up, forgetting that I'm driving an automatic over here. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Oh, I just got up to speed too. Actually, I'm speeding.
Exit right. Yeah, me too.
Exit right.
Rolling away with me.
Go straight on. Keep right.
Very right.
Got a little rain.
Oh, wow.
Keep left.
Hasn't hit me yet. Take it up to 18.
Oh
Set the
yeah.
cruise.
Sorry, I was doing over 80.
Okay, sorry.
I was trying to get around that truck behind you.
Yeah, I just caught him pull out in front of you as we came on the slip road. Well, I was going to take it up to 80. Drop him down.
Ooh. Just had an accident. That one I guess I'll have to take. I'm having trouble maintaining speed and lane discipline. I try to look at the chat.
Keep right.
Exit
Then
right.
exit right. Exit right.
Oh.
Be a nice little close here.
Oops. Wow, Picard Gaming, 10 months. Flatbedder. Time is flying. 60 here.
Back to 80.
So, Pugwash, you talked a little bit about what you did in your real life career before retiring,
Yeah.
which is kind of fascinating to me anyway. Oops, I'm speeding big time. So I
I'll let you.
was surprised to learn a little bit about UK policing. I was surprised to learn that unlike in, well, most countries that I'm aware of, including the US, not all police officers in the UK are armed.
No, not well. Maybe over the last 10 years or so, it's become more prevalent to have armed officers on the street. But when I joined, I was 25 when I joined, and that was back in 1980. And all I had between me and the criminal was a piece of stick in my pocket, a whistle, and a pair of handcuffs. The rest of it was talk quick or swing a right hook. That's the only defense you had to protect yourself. Obviously, as my service went on, things obviously became more violent. Firearms were more prevalent on the street with the criminals. Unlike America, I mean, it's not normal for British subjects to have firearms unless they have them licensed, and they are normally 12-bore shotguns or they're shooting clubs, and they're very limited really. Whereas in America, every other person's got a gun and has a right to own a gun. So armed police really weren't a thing that was required when I first joined. But as I say, as time went on, it became
Keep left.
a part of the job really. And because I was in a position where I was a traffic cop driving high-powered vehicles, they brought in a thing called a armed response, which
My game
meant
just
that you were.
crashed. Sorry.
All right.
Go ahead and go on with what you're saying. I got to work on getting back in.
Okay. They brought in a thing called armed police, response, armed response teams, which generally were made up of traffic cars with officers in there carrying sidearms and semi-automatic machine guns, 9mm Glocks and Heckler and Koch, 9mm Heckler and Koch. And that was 6 years probably of my life doing that, plus doing VIP escort work with royalty, and any other sort of prime ministers or people of any sort of great importance. So that was really what most of my job was at the height of it, really.
Well, sounds awfully fascinating. And again, we had a bit of a lengthy discussion yesterday about the fact that, you know, police in the UK initially were not armed, and you got
No.
got to have a sharp wit and maybe a good right
Yes.
cross.
Yeah.
Um,
If the talking failed, it was down to having a good right hook and be able to be the last man standing, really. But it hence most of the when I joined the force, there was a limit. Or I say a limit. There was a specification. You had to be at least 6 foot. You had to have 20/20 vision, and you had to be a bit of a monster, really. Most of them being rugby players, ex-rugby players, steel workers, people with a bit of bulk around them, really. Now, there are some police officers out there that look like, 12-year-olds,
yeah.
which is frightening sometimes. And that's not just in UK, that's sort of, worldwide, Europe, everywhere.
Yeah, let me interrupt you for just 1 minute. I want to talk a little bit about, I can't show it in here. I backed out to my mod manager. For those of you having trouble after the update or upgrade, look at any of your mods in your active mods list, and if they've got a big red circle, that mod is broken. So just remove it, and you should be good to go. If you don't have any, then the other thing to do is to pull them all out, make sure the game fires up, and then add them back in 1 or 2 at a time, following the correct mods list. We use our mods list. We have them in the correct sequence, because one of the problems you can have is putting mods in out of sequence. But if your game was working before, then the sequence doesn't change that I'm aware of. Anyway, so back to you, Pugwash.
Exiting right here.
No, I'm not. I haven't even got back into the server yet.
Oh, okay. I'll find somewhere to pull over now, and I'll wait.
Okay. Jesse2670, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't know why my game crashed. Maybe I need to validate my files, but I'm just going to hold off on that because within the next 5 or 6 days, ETS2 is going to update as well. So I'll just wait for that. Let's see. KO, welcome. We are pulling the Volvo excavator, I think. Picard Gaming is here. Purdy the Parrot is here. Jesse, I don't think it will be that long before ETS2 updates. I believe it'll be next Tuesday. Video card is 1XT4. Oh, that's something now for me. Purdy, I can't stand the adaptive cruise control. I refuse to turn that on. I hate it. It's annoying. Let me tell you how I really feel. I'm a truck driver, not a steering wheel holder. I had to deal with that adaptive cruise control in real life, and I don't ever want to have to deal with it again. That's how I feel. The problem that we're experiencing is because of a little bit of latency between myself and Pugwash. We each have a certain amount of latency between ourselves and the server, which in our case is less than 90 milliseconds, which is pretty good, considering that Pugwash is in the United Kingdom and I'm on the near the west coast of the U.S. This server, I believe, is located probably in New York State somewhere. Pilot could confirm that probably. So what happens is when you get a little bit of extra latency, then that truck that I was stuck behind
Drive safe.
is probably one associated with Pugwash.
Keep left.
So any latency between he and I was creating that problem between me and that AI, and I was experiencing the same thing when I got close to Pugwash. So it's just a natural function of multiplayer. It just is what it is. And I am on my way. I don't know. Yeah, you're not even on my map yet. So I will work my way up to you.
Our next junction up from where you are at the moment, I think. You have to come off the next junction. I'm just underneath the junction. We're almost at the destination, actually, but I'll wait here until you get me line.
Picard is getting a new desk. I love having a new desk. I got mine a couple months ago and I really like it. So much bigger. Better suited for gaming. Of course, it is a gaming desk, so there's that. Nicholas says police don't have pistols there either. He lives in Norway. They are locked in a safe in their police cars, but are very rarely taken out while on duty. Well, that seems pointless to me. If you have a pistol, it ought to be in your holster on your hip.
Yeah.
Because if you need it, it's too late to go to your car to get it out.
We when we started doing the first responder part, we had a similar thing. We had a locked safe box in between the driver and the passenger in the center console, and the guns had to be in there. And if you were sent to a firearms incident, you had to ask permission to arm, and that was down to the inspector in the operations room to give you authorization to arm. And there's been several incidents where, because of the speed of the vehicles we were driving, I mean, we were doing 130, 140 mile an hour going to these shouts, and you get down and bear down on that quite quickly at that sort of speed, and you're constantly asking, your co-pilot is constantly asking for permission to arm, and there's obviously a delay, certainly in the early days, because we weren't used to being armed on the street. And there was a fair bit of, pressure on that inspector to say, yes, arm. But you were, obviously, when you got there, if there was somebody waving a gun around, you had the authorization to self-arm. But sometimes that might be too late.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm a firm believer that
Go straight on.
the cop on the spot needs to be able to make that decision independently of anyone else.
Yeah. That did come about later,
Right.
so that your sidearm, if you like, was in your holster most of the time.
Good.
The semi-automatic was locked away. You broke that out as you were moving there to get there, because it was obviously having that slung across your chest was a little bit strange. But I mean, a funny story with when this all first started.
Well, before you go there, let me acknowledge a couple of things happening in with the audience. TK is here. He just bought me a coffee a little bit ago and did scare me. Oh, there you are. I am right behind you.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks for the coffee, TK. Let me see what else I got here. To do. Nick is here. I apologize if I missed you. I see Rashid. Sunday fun day issues on Friday, Boomer. Oh, not so bad. Well, maybe my game crashed. Don't understand that, but it does happen from time to time. Let's see. Chicago. Pilot Bro says the server is in Chicago. You can play your own music in ET. Yes, I am aware of that, and I do not. I turned that off on day one. That's just me. I generally don't listen to music when I'm doing much of anything, well, except working. Yeah, I'm usually just trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. I can't play it during a live stream or record it because it could be a copyright violation. But personally, while driving and I'm not with anyone else, I listen to podcasts. Because that's what I did when I was driving over the road for real. So that's what I do in the game as well. Let's see. Yeah, I'm missing out on some of the chat here. Sorry, guys. Okay. If you want, go ahead and pick up where you left off.
Oh yeah. When we had probably been live and active for about a 12-month or so, so people were getting used to seeing armed police, but not frequently. And we were sent on a job. We're coming off here. We were sent on a job. We were actually working on the motorway as a motorway cop,
Right.
but doing armed
And then
response at the
exit
same
right.
time. And it was a bit of sensitive information, so they wouldn't pass it over the radio. And the motorway phones on the side of the motorway are direct links to basically the control room. So you actually speak directly to operators there. Going left here.
Get ready to
So
turn left.
we pulled over to ring basically and ask what the
Turn
information was. And I had my head firmly stuck inside this little box on the phone. Only to be sort of tapped on the shoulder by this smartly dressed gentleman to ask me if he was on the correct road. He's on the M4 now, on the correct road to London, and was he going in the right direction? And I was dressed as if I was about to invade, you know, some foreign country. I had guns all over me, thunder flashed, everything, you know, as if I was about to go to war, and he's tapping me on the shoulder, just a normal Bobby, excuse me, can you tell me the way? Didn't even bat an eyelid. So yeah, carry straight on, so go over the
left,
Severn Bridge and you're on the way
then
to
turn
London.
left.
He just got back in the car and drove off. And I got back to the patrol car where my partner was driving, and he was absolutely in hysterics. He couldn't pull off for lapping. He was creased. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Should have had a camera really, but I was a bit sort of, you know, taken aback with it, and I thought, well, okay, yeah, you've obviously accepted that we are armed police, but you're not worried about it. So, but that was a weird, really weird. It must have taken my partner about 10 minutes to sort of regain his sort of composure and okay, let's carry on with the day sort of thing.
That's funny. I mean, that's the kind of thing you might see in a movie or TV show.
Yeah. all sorts. But,
Yeah. You could have been, invading Utah Beach, and some guy would
Yeah.
walk up to you and ask you for directions to the local pub or something.
exactly. I thought, yeah. No problem, sir. Carry on. Yeah.
Get ready to turn left.
Some
That's
people
me,
are pretty self-absorbed.
Turn
Ah,
left.
he looked a typical sort of city gent, that
Was a
sort
nice
of his
ride.
best suit and collar and tie, and he was obviously going somewhere and had something on his mind about what he was doing, but certainly wasn't, fazed by us at all.
It is funny. Oh, let's see. Can I get turned around back here? No, I'm gonna have to back in. It looks like, or maybe I can swing wide over here.
I don't mind here. Am I in your way, or do you need me to get out the way?
No, not.
Okay.
I assumed you're delivering over there where you were.
Yeah, I just dropped it there now.
I'm on another area completely.
Spin around.
We made it.
Yep.
Excellent. Not late, not damaged.
And didn't even take a wrong turn.
And didn't take a wrong turn. How about that? Okay. Let's see. Shootings in Nicholas says we don't have shootings in Norway. Police shoot less than 20 bullets while on duty each year. Well, that's good, but I know that's not quite correct, Nicholas. I know that it's rare to have shootings in Norway. I am aware of one mass shooting. I believe that was in Norway. And it's shocking that makes news worldwide because it is so rare.
Yeah. They are not everyday occurrences in the UK, to be fair. I mean, it's
right.
It's the fact that it was deemed to be necessary, certainly with borders and stuff like that, and seeing them at airports is it's a common thing now to see armed police at airports. And
I remember seeing that in Germany in the late 70s, early 80s. Armed police officers with submachine guns. So
exactly. But as I said to you yesterday, that different parts of Europe, there are different types of police officer as well. There are armed police and just normal beat police who are not armed. Some countries split their police into different sections. France being sort of a usual sort of thing, because you have gendarmes and gendarmerie. Italy is similar with the I think there's I can't remember the name of their sort of armed section, but they have a normal sort of hello officer, how are you type of thing, to stick your hands up, we've got a gun in your back. It depends on I think it just depends on the place or the country that you're in, and their approach to arming and how they should be armed, really.
I'm booking another load out of the Caterpillar facility.
Okay.
Going to Gdansk. Yeah, I wanted to get back to the live chat here. Nicholas says we don't have shoot. Oh, I already did that one. He says and every one of those 20 shots are investigated. I think that's universal. Yep. Anytime a police officer discharges their firearm, it's investigated. Yep. And in fact, I don't know about other countries, but in the U.S., if a police officer, as a result of having to discharge their firearm, and if they shoot someone, they are placed on what's called administrative leave. They're taken off the beat, and they're, they work out of the office or do whatever while the investigation takes place. It also gives them a chance to mentally recover, because it can be traumatizing if you have to shoot someone. So, yeah. As someone who firmly believes in exercising my Second Amendment right to carry firearms, it's a thing that I've mentally gone through a process of knowing that if I'm carrying, there's always the possibility that I might have to do that. And so I went through a process of just mentally preparing myself and recognizing that it would traumatize me for the rest of my life. Yeah. So the first thing that you want to do is avoid it at all costs, but be prepared if you have to. Anyway, that's kind of a morbid subject for a trucking sim channel.
It is. It is.
The next thing I want to discuss after we get back on the roll here, if you want to, actually you can just grab the load. How far do I have to go? 11 kilometers. Let me finish up the live chat. I got some shout outs to do. And yes, Rick Rashid, Pugwash was a cop. Let's see. Okay, somebody already answered that. So it's, I'm way behind. Bertie, the mods, the ATS mods that TK has created work in ATS. Justin Hernandez, welcome to the stream. Oh, thank you. He says congratulations on 7.9K. That's 7,900 subscribers. We're getting close to 8,000. Wow. It says I was here back when you had 250 people. That's been a while. Thanks. Thanks for sticking with us for that long.
A lot of support.
Let's see. And thanks again, Justin, for that. I'm way behind on the chat here. Let's see. Thor is here. Welcome, Thor. Let's see. And Adam is here. Well, Adam, I didn't really do anything on Thanksgiving. We didn't do anything special as far as we didn't fix any turkey. We didn't go out. We actually went out the day before for a separate thing on Wednesday, and we went to one of our favorite casinos to go to for their buffet, and I ate so much I was good to go for the next day. So we didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. You're right, Nick. It is a depressing subject, so we changed it, and we're gonna shift to something else here once we get going. The JJ Man 1982 is here. Oh, Adam has found the PACCAR testing center in ATS. All right, I'm ready to roll. Let's see, it's 9:36. I'll wait to change the time. And I guess it's my turn to lead.
Okay.
Turn right.
Looks like it's on the other side of town. You know, Leipzig doesn't seem to be very big here in the game.
No.
I would have thought that it'd be, well, I'm sure in real life it is a much larger town. City,
Turn
even.
left.
Cody Old, JJ Man 1982, he's here, and so is Nick. Thor Rasmussen, our top ETS2 driver for January and April, he's here. David H74. There's a shop up ahead. I think I might duck in and tidy up my 1% damage. Well, I better slow down. There's a cop behind me. Retired cop.
Then turn right.
A roser. I've never heard that term before.
Have you not?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
What's the basis or what's the history behind that term? Do you know?
I can't recall the exact sort of where it came from. We've always been sort of bobbies, coppers, peelers,
Okay, let's
which
find
comes
a
from
new
Robert
route.
Peel, but there was a bit. I can't remember where it sort of.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that there are terms and expressions that we use every day, but we don't really know the origin.
No, I mean the Americans are sort of usually flatfoot. You know, they're always their beat bobby is always known as a flatfoot, and
Yeah, we use the term cop a lot. Copper has been used mostly in older movies.
yeah.
Turn left.
I mean, we've got other things like with especially.
Oh, Nick. Let me see. I can't read the whole thing, unfortunately, Nick, because of. Let's see. Love your exploring series you make on YouTube, Boomer. Can't wait for more. Okay, Nick. I will get on that. I can't see it all because I've got my chat up on part of the screen. Where am I going? But thank
Get
you.
ready to turn right.
And there's the Caterpillar place.
Turn right. We are finished.
Oh, I think, Purdy the Parrot has bought a coffee. Keep on trucking, Boomer. Thank you. I will. Might do a little ATS later. Maybe.
I think I'll wait for you to come out. It's a bit tight back there, isn't it? If I
It
remember
is.
rightly.
Well, you could actually, I suppose, well, your choice. You could nose in, probably. I don't think that would impact my ability to get back out.
Looking at this, I'm right in the far left-hand corner of the back, but I'm guessing it's roughly where you are. Probably the same spot, I would think.
Time to get
Yeah,
the job done.
Yeah, where I'm at seems to be the spot that's most frequently used.
Yeah, it is. Exactly where you are.
Okay, yeah, come on in.
Just had a quick view of it.
All right. The Stobbs is asking, what kind of cars did you drive or have in the force?
Went through quite a different range for the length of time I was actually driving the high-powered vehicles, but we had 4-litre Jaguars, we had the Sierra and Granada Cosworths. Last going off, we had the Volvo, the T-Series Volvos, and they were all sort of, you know, highly tuned to a little bit more than you get off the the shop if you went and bought one from a dealer. They're obviously done for us, but range 4-litre Range Rovers. Depending on what sort of era we were going through, really, but they were always, you know, sort of the top of the range. We did have a couple of BMWs, but for some reason, really weird, it was decided that we should buy British, so we didn't go with BMW. We went with Ford, which were built in Germany.
Wait a minute, isn't Ford an American company? I suppose
Yeah,
it was bought by another company, but
yeah, they were made, the vehicles we were using, the Fords we were using at the time, which were the Sierras and the Cosworths, they were made in Germany. But our sort of finance department said, "Oh no, we can't buy German, we can't have BMW, we'll go with Ford," which came from Germany.
politics. Yep.
Yeah.
Let me do a few more let's see. He says the T5 Volvos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Same as the racing saloon Volvos they used to, well, not saloons, they were T5s that they used to race. And it was more or less the same spec as those, really. They were.
Yeah. Yeah, Stobbs pointing out American and German Fords are quite different. Yeah, I learned that when I was over in Germany. They really are quite different. Okay, Ipswich, NC Gaming Man, Matthew Roth is here. RD04 Dave, our top ATS driver for March. Troken, Justin Burns, Douglas Williams, Lee Jenkins, JC Drives, Bogdan BD, Stobbs is here. Bruce A, Johnny Hansen, Thomas Berger. KO, I'm not sure what you're referring to about blowing doors off. Tazzy 291, Doom 3, Chris T, Jennifer Roth, Rick Rashid is here, Robert Alexander, Andrew Black, Phantom 6767, Ryan, and Susan. No, I wasn't planning on streaming that. I just am planning on putting in some miles when I get a chance. John the Bricklayer, Lee01 Mister, Vigner Hoxton, Mouse 888. I think Vigner's here. A tuned Cozy would do well against a BMW, to be fair, says Tasmified. CJ Johns 31, Keith Cersei is here. Gaming Zombie, our top ATS driver for May. James Brandt, Clive Hughes, Wolf Gaming, Noah Long, Torsev Ice Bear, our top ATS driver for June, and our top ETS2 driver for August. Dr. Jones, who just got his membership back, our top ATS driver for July. Greg Ulray, Arnar Hoxton, Northside Music. I'll do a few more at the next red light. We'll change the times. We'll get ready for a flash. And off we go. On our way to Poland. To northern Poland, in fact.
Turn left.
So now the question is, how did you discover your interest in truck driving sims?
I just started sort of gaming sort of through the COVID sort of lockdown type of
Get
thing.
ready to turn left.
Just something to occupy me, and I started with I think it was a bus sim or something similar,
Turn
because
left.
I'd been trained in my job to drive buses and a few other sort of HGVs and the like, and I just enjoy driving. I'm obviously retiring from a driving job. I just sort of sat down and got myself a cheap wheel and went on that, and that was on the Xbox, and it was a bit sort of arcade-ish. And one day I was just watching YouTube and you appeared on there, and I thought, wow, this is good. I like this. So the next thing was a PC, download it and have a crack at it and see what it was like. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and then watching your streams, sort of picking up tips from that and trying to, you did a route, I'd try and do the same sort of route that you did, and just basically thought, wow, this is great. And then when I realized that you could actually become part of what we are now, that was even better. I mean, it just amazes me that there are people in this group from all over the world. I mean,
Yes.
Susan's down in Australia. Thor is, up in the cold country. I'm here, you're the other side of America. I mean, and it's as if you're just in my living room. It's
Pretty amazing.
it's just, it is. It's really, really fascinating.
Yeah,
And,
it's quite a community too.
Yeah, there's some cracking people in the group altogether. I mean, they chop their arm off to help you. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. I was a
Wow,
little bit
that's amazing.
sort of.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I was a little bit sort of with the convoy in bit, because my first
Keep
I
right.
actually won
Then
in my
turn
first
right.
month or so of being part of the group. I'd won I think that was a draw for something or other,
Turn
Right
right.
turn.
and I was still in my probation, so I couldn't have I got a red light.
Okay.
I couldn't have a skin, and the only other option then was a convoy with yourself. And at that time, my driving, I wasn't confident enough to be on the road with an expert.
I
I
recall
thought,
that conversation, and now I understand a little better of the why.
yeah. So I thought, well, okay. And obviously then I started doing a couple of convoys with Drive and picking up hints and tips off him, and TruckerKing, or I don't particularly want to learn about flipping the things over, but I mean,
You can do that on your
I
own.
find, yeah. I find it quite uncomfortable being upside down with your face in the gravel, but it's and it grew from that really. And as I say, I have a little go on it practically every day. Do a couple of trips, and just enjoy it really. It kills a few hours for me and keeps your brain sort of ticking over. And I enjoy driving. And this is as close as you can get without having to be out on the road spending money on fuel.
Yes. By the way, I've got rain. I do see it coming up from the back. I'm going to pick it up to 75. I'll hold it there.
Okay.
Until you catch up a little bit more. I know you're not far behind.
No, I'm not far away.
So Casey missed the earlier explanation of why the name Pugwash, and we've got a few other new folks in here at the moment. If you want to share that bit again.
Yeah, it goes back to when I first steam was something I didn't know anything at all about, and both my lads, I say lads, they're in their late 30s, 40, they're still gamers, and they set me up with a Steam account. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and obviously you had to have a username. When they were kids, little kids, we used to watch a cartoon called Captain Pugwash, so consequently I ended up being Pugwash. That was the username they put on there for me, and that's what I've been landed with. So it goes back to probably the 1980s or something like that, when, you know, maybe before, I can't remember. It's quite a while back when they were smaller, and it was a very popular cartoon in this country.
Yeah, I had asked the same question initially when we were talking about coming up with this truck skin. And I suspected that was the answer, but I didn't really know.
Yeah. The imagery I've got on my account is actually, that is the Captain Pugwash. That's the guy from the cartoon.
Okay. So let's see. Oh, and Thor says, did he say a few hours? Oh, yeah. All right, I have missed a bunch of chat, I know, but I'm gonna move forward. So we've got 540 kilometers yet to go. Rick Rashid says, I remember Mush Mouse and a Pumpkin Puss. Is that a kid's cartoon?
I'm not here for that one.
Yeah, it sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not aware. Johnny Hansen is here. And so is Lord Dragon.
Keep left.
Got to move left to the middle lane.
Okay.
I guess I'll slow back down a bit.
Yeah, I've got a couple of AI playing around in front of me.
Okay. Yeah, I did see a truck behind me.
I got one of the infamous buses.
Yeah, they're annoying. And
I'll make up which lane he's going to go in.
Yep, that's why they're annoying. Moving back into the right. Ah, he says that's an early 60s cartoon. Yeah, that's probably, I think that's why Mush Mouse sounds familiar.
Woo. The bus has finally hit something. Not me, thankfully.
Yeah. Purdy, yes, this will be. Trying not to have these live streams go over 2 hours. Trying to dial them back a little bit. But it's tough sometimes. You get wrapped up in driving and lose track of time. As it is, it's going to, by the time we get there, even if there are no delays, it's going to put us really close to the 2 hour mark.
And then exit right.
We're exiting right up here. Stay in this lane.
Okay.
Exit right.
Oh, there you are. All right, I'm moving it up to 80.
I'm right. Okay.
Well, actually, after we get up here and...
Yeah.
Oh, I think... No, we got to move over. Casey Evans, Casey Ford has gifted another 5 memberships. Rick Rashid. Andrew Moore. Connor Gurney. Tari 263 and Marv Kelch. Welcome. Thank you, Casey, and congratulations to the lucky recipients. So give me a minute, I got another question for you as soon as these celebration messages stop.
Okay.
I got 5 of them and they all fire off twice. Oh, here's a different question, not mine. From Purdy, he says, what is 555 at the end of Pugwash name mean? Whoa, what do we got here? Oh, we're slowing down for a border crossing. So what's the triple nickel?
That was my collar number as a police officer.
Oh.
That was my actual it would have been PC 555 and then obviously whatever your name was. Every officer has a number. So that was mine, and I carried that all the way through my 30 years service.
And what does police, or I'm sorry, PC stand for? I assume
Police
it's not
constable.
police constable, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I assume it's not politically correct.
Nah, it has to be today. You'd have a PC, which is a police constable, a PS, which is a police sergeant. Then you go then to inspector, chief inspector, superintendent, chief superintendent, and so on until you get to chief constable. Never
do
made
you
it that far.
Do you retain your number throughout?
Normally, yes. Until you get to inspector, you lose a number when you become inspector.
Okay.
But as a PC, if you're promoted a sergeant, you carry the same number. You just become a sergeant. But I never pushed for that. I was quite content doing what I was doing. So.
Let's see what else. Okay, let's see here. So my question is, or my follow-on question is, between the two truck sims, do you have a favorite? And if so, which is it and why?
I don't really have a favorite. I find it ETS2. I find I can sort of relate to ETS2 because I guess I'm from Europe, and I've been to several places that you're driving through. And I found that the vehicles, or the lorry and the load,
Go straight on.
easier. The trucks themselves easier to maneuver. The reversing side of it and everything else. But I'm probably 50-50 with it. But I do find that ATS, the trucks maneuvering the trucks, reversing and the like, are a little bit more cumbersome. They're not so easy to move around. Especially the reversing side of it. Probably because of the length of the vehicles as well, and the size of the truck itself. This type of truck that we're driving now is quite maneuverable and flexible to move around.
Yeah, it sure is.
So I haven't really got a favorite. I enjoy both. And obviously with the States, I've never been to the States, so I am assuming what I'm seeing mostly on the screen and from watching what you've done and some of your, when you talk about, we're taking I-5 and blah 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 and onto, you obviously know the routes inside out, and they must be fairly accurate to what you were doing in real life.
Yep, they really are. It's amazing. And I have to make that same assumption here in Euro Truck. My experience of driving in Europe when I was in the U.S. military over here, based out of Frankfurt, but I did get out and about a fair bit. I drove up and down. I don't remember the number, but it seems to me it's the 5, runs north-south from Frankfurt. And I got down to, I think Karlsruhe a time or two, Heidelberg, Mannheim. And I got north a little bit as far as Gießen. So it's been 40 plus years, so I don't remember a lot. Although the rework, when they did the rework that included Frankfurt, it started to look more like what I would recall. We've got some road construction up here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't drive in the UK in this that much, but the bit that I do in the UK, my local area, which is sort of Newport, which they've recently added, driving through there and up through what we class as the valley, is the road that they've depicted on there is almost identical to the road I drive on daily. It
Wow.
is that accurate. It's really, you know, it's shortened, but it is that accurate. I recognize exactly where I am just by driving that little bit.
Wow,
they've
that's
done
amazing.
yeah, they've done a lot of work to get it right.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about various areas in American Truck Simulator. You know, my home state is Washington. That's not where I live now, of course, but that's where I grew up. And you know, when I was a kid, we got out a lot into the, you know, camping in the mountains and fishing and all kinds of things. And the scenery is pretty much dead on from what it is in real life. So it's actually, they really have done a pretty good job.
Yeah. I say, when you consider that they do America and
Keep
Europe,
right, and then
and
exit right.
it's that accurate, certainly for my little hometown place, which is, you know,
Exit right.
a little pinprick on the map,
Yeah.
really, compared to all other places. It
yeah, even
they've taken the time.
even and I talked about this a couple of weekends ago. I think it was 1 or 2 weekends ago during the members live stream when we went to the Packard Technical Center. That exit I'm familiar with from when I lived there, and I could even point out at that intersection, once you get off the freeway, there's a couple of businesses off to the side, and I recognized it wasn't an exact
Get ready to turn
duplication, but it was close enough that I could say, yeah, my high school sweetheart's mother worked there
turn left.
when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So this is Poznan. Oh yeah, we still have 277 kilometers to go. Somehow I was thinking we were almost there already. And I know time flies. Red light. Oh, green light. I seem to remember a game like that when I was a kid. Red light, green light.
Yeah.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now.
And red light.
Go straight on.
So earlier I had alluded to I might do some driving in ATS, and Susan, what that was about, if you're still here, I just thought, you know, hey, I'd like to contribute a few more miles to, you know, the VTC. We're doing so well. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to make it into 11th place, and now I'm wondering if we can make it into 10th place with as many miles as everyone is driving. It's incredible. And for those of you who don't know, we are currently running an ATS challenge.
And then turn left.
Left turn ahead. And we've got 10 copies of the new Kansas DLC that we will be giving away to 10 recipients who have to earn it by driving a lot of miles in ATS. And for every 1,000 miles they drive, this is members of our VTC, for every 1,000 miles of real miles that they log, they will gain an entry into the drawings for these 10 Kansas DLCs. So it's amazing how many miles everyone is driving, and it's pushing us into the top 10. I mean, again, we got a long way to go before we get to 10th place, but we had a long way to go to get to 11th. So it's possible. Now, can we hold it? That remains to be seen, because the contest is over Sunday evening.
Get ready to turn right.
And we'll still have several days left in the month to hold that place. So I'm just thinking I'd like to drive a few more miles in ATS to help with the, help the community. Even though I'm not going to be getting one, I'm not eligible to receive one of those copies. I want to help the community get up into the top 10 if possible. I'm really impressed with what everyone has been doing.
Yeah, that's a sort of secondary target, isn't it? And I think, even though I've been driving a fair bit with it, as I'd normally try and achieve my minimums in both. And I don't think I've failed yet since I've been a member, but I always find it harder to get your minimum in ETS2
Yes.
than in ATS. I don't know why. It just seems harder and longer.
It is, because the conditions are different.
Yeah.
It's the same
But
basic distance, 16,000 kilometers to 10,000 miles. However, in ATS, because in the United States, driving or speed limits are different. And most of the driving is on interstate freeways with no traffic lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are, we're on a back road, and we're making a good time, but we're on a back road, and now the speed limit is 70 kilometers an hour. I mean, what is that, like 45 miles an hour or something?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. In the United States, a back road like this, the speed limit would almost certainly be 55 miles an hour, which is still more than 80 kilometers an hour in Euro.
Yeah. Well, after that goes, as I say, I tend to try and do my ETS miles first, and then sort of, for the want of a better phrase, jump over the pond and drive ATS and get my minimum, at least my minimum there. But with the challenge, I've gone a bit over the top with the challenge, but once the challenge is over, I think I'll just keep pushing and seeing if I can get the same sort of mileage, just to get a higher place, because it is, I'm pretty sure it's reachable if we carry on doing what we're doing. But
I agree.
It is quite a commitment. I mean, I'm retired, so it doesn't matter. I mean, there are people obviously that are trying to do this in between work and everything else, and that does take a lot of time and effort and family time.
Yep. Well, yesterday I hit my minimums for ATS, and I'm over halfway in Euro truck, and I would like to get it in Euro as well if I can. But I would almost rather put more miles in ATS right now, just to help the community push us over into 10th.
Yeah, I mean, ETS is quite it's a big community, isn't it? I mean, trying to get up in the top 10 with that is almost nigh on impossible.
Right.
And certainly with people that tend to bend the rules slightly as well, you don't stand an earthly chance.
No, it's hard enough in ATS to get into the top 10. We've done it several times, though.
Yeah, and as you say, and drive into the rules and regulations. I mean, it's we're not tearing through towns at sort of stupid miles an hour. We're trying to stick to whatever the the speed limits are, and
Right, because it is a truck simulator, not a race simulator.
yeah. And I think that was the draw I had when I started doing it, because it was something, well, you know, you sort of, it replicates real life. And you know, sometimes I'll drive without the sleep mode on, because I'll just change the time when I'm on my own. I'll just drive and enjoy it. And then other times I'll do it to the, you know, the full thing with sleep mode on and everything else. It just how I feel on the day, really.
Yeah. Well, that actually raised another question for me. Back to your time as a traffic cop, were you involved in enforcement for truck drivers at all?
Yeah, the whole thing. As a traffic cop, that was your speciality. Anything to do with traffic law. So it went from, you know, a light out to no tax to well, speeding, HGVs, reading tachographs, dealing with RTA, road traffic accidents, fatal road traffic accidents. You were basically the expert. And I even did a course, a mechanics course, to be able to be an MOT tester. So if there was I could find faults on vehicles that may have caused accidents.
Red light.
Go straight on.
And things like that. Prior to joining the force, I had a leap start with that, because I was an engineer. I did my apprenticeship, and I was a tool maker for best part of 10 years. Before that became a bit flaky, and I missed redundancy a few times with cuts and everything else, and that's why I left industry and joined the force, because it was a more secure job. That's how I ended up becoming a police officer, and I didn't look back from there. But I had the advantage, obviously, of having an engineering background, so I could tell you if something had been sawn through or it had fractured naturally and things like that. So you know, I would do vehicle examinations at accidents. Somebody said, you know, my brakes have failed. We would take it all apart to see which part failed, if it failed. So it was quite, you know. And the other thing is, like with the HGVs, stopping and checking their loads. Do they have the right paperwork for the loads? Were they running on illegal diesel? Were their times, their tachograph up to date, or you know, were they running overtime, or so there'd be also stops then with customs. Customs would have us pull the vehicle in, because they didn't have the authority to pull the vehicle over, but we would pull the vehicle over onto a weigh station, and then they would go through the vehicle with a fine-tooth comb, and they would impound it, and actually on the spot fines of thousands of pounds, impound the vehicle, and it didn't go anywhere until it was paid for, or you know, they were very, very strict on it. And we were just used as their, you know, their stoppers, basically. Go and get us a couple of lorries, okay? We'll go and get you a couple of lorries.
Wow.
Follow me. And they used to think, oh, you know, great, oh, it's only a traffic cop, great, you know, may do me for a bit of time. No, you're going to see customs. Oh, bugger.
Oh, wow. You mentioned an acronym a little bit ago. Was it
Get ready to
HTV?
turn left.
HGV. Heavy goods vehicle.
Oh, okay. That was my ultimate question, is what does that stand for?
Turn
Yeah,
left.
heavy goods vehicle. That's basically what we're driving now.
Okay. So in the US it'd be CMV, which is commercial motor vehicle.
Right.
Same thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the US, like local police don't get involved in, enforcement for commercial motor vehicles, as far as I know, unless of course they're speeding. Then that's a, traffic violation like anybody else. But as far as enforcement of hours of service and, inspections and things, they didn't.
Local
Sheriff's
local
departments,
police,
however, did.
Yeah.
So were you considered local police, or were you at a higher level of government?
We were still part of. I was a member of Gwent Police, so you were a normal. I started as a beat bobby and worked my way up. You have to volunteer to do all the bits and pieces I did, and you have to obviously pass exams and the like, and driver suitabilities and things and so on, and do special courses to get where you want to go. But it's a voluntary thing. You don't get any extra money for it. But as far as like a traffic cop is concerned, in my day, a beat bobby wouldn't even entertain stopping a HGV. It frightened the life out of them. And if they did, or they had to deal with one for whatever reason, they'd straight away be on the radio asking for a traffic cop. And we had a slightly different. We wore, and they still do now, wore a white cap, where most others wear the normal bobby's helmet, or a black cap. The traffic cop was depicted by the white cap, and lorry drivers, if they were pulled over by a normal bobby, they'd be smiling. They could more or less run rings around him. Oh, you don't need to see that, officer, blah blah blah, that's all covered. And until one of our sort of jammy Dodger cars turned up and a white cap got out for them, then you'd see their face sort of drop and think, oh my god, oh no. Now we're in for it, sort of thing. We can't pull the wool over these guys. But it was just part of the job. Obviously, there are other bits that you have to deal with. Again, with you were the experts with any sort of, unfortunately, any sort of fatalities. You dealt with the fatal road accidents, and you also became the coroner's officer for that as well. Your responsibility to, sort of identify the body and unfortunately pass on the messages to the family and so on.
That's got to be a thankless task. Yeah.
And the worst part, I think, was anything like that is where children are involved. That right. Used to, cause I obviously had kids of my own, sort of at that time, and they were, 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, etc. And you do you go and deal with it. You switch off a little bit. You become a machine. I've got a job to do. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Blah blah right. Blah blah blah. But it's after. I think that's when you've finished it all and you've done your job as you should do, and then you go back to the nick or wherever you go, and you sit down and think, oh my god, what have I just dealt with? That's when it sort of hits you a little bit.
I can
you carry
imagine.
That with you, you carry that with you a lot. I mean, I can recall, practically everyone I dealt with, and I dealt with quite a few. It's something you don't forget, and I think that's the same with any sort of traumatic. If you're military and stuff like that, and you've gone through that type of thing, it sticks with you. You deal with it, and you find a way of coping with it. It's all part of what you have to do, I guess.
Yep. Let me get back here to the chat. I'm falling behind again. Let's see. Yeah, Casey, I haven't had much time in the last couple weeks to do farming as much as I would like, unfortunately. Rick Rashid, I do not believe you. You do not hate Farm Sim. Otherwise, why would you put yourself in the running to win a copy of Farm Sim 19? Don't tell me you hate it. You just won it. He doesn't. He doesn't hate it. It's a self-loathing thing. He hates himself for loving it.
Keep right.
Oh, keep right. Well, yeah, we are exiting up yonder.
Okay.
Exit right.
Oh, we're almost there. You know, I just had a flashback memory of sometime in my first couple of weeks when I got to Germany. Was stationed in Frankfurt, and I was, you know, hanging out with some of the other guys. We went downtown, and craziest thing, you know, Frankfurt is a real melting pot for Central Europe.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we encountered was an English pub. I was really surprised. I mean, I didn't know to expect that. And it was crazy. One of the guys pointed out and said, hey, there's an English pub. Well, I'd never been to one. So we thought, hey, let's go in and see what that's about. And when we walked through the door, it was like stepping across the channel into England. It was just amazing. At least, you know, from my perspective, it was like that. Let me get a couple shout outs. Colin Percival, Adam Harris, Pancake Man, QA Library, Feta M, Green Light. And we went in, there was the darts, and I don't remember if anybody was playing or not, but probably. And you know, we sat down and we had a nice English breakfast. As you know, at least that's what it was touted as, and it was definitely good. But it was just funny that here we are in the heart of Frankfurt, Germany, downtown, and here's an English pub. And as it turns out, there was a lot of different international food choices in Frankfurt. Some of my favorite places to go was this really awesome Chinese restaurant. Went to an Argentinian steakhouse. Yeah, just lots of different things. Red light up here.
Go straight on.
So, and then of course there was the little kiosk, the pita sandwich kiosk run by Turkish immigrants. I'd never heard of that before, and wow, they were good. And that's when I learned that, because in the United States we have a type of sandwich called a hero sandwich. Well, the reality is that there's the pita bread from the Middle East, and it's actually gyro.
Your route guidance is
as is often the case, Americans mispronounce things.
Yeah.
And so the gyro sandwich, with the pita bread, that became the hero sandwich in the U.S. So I learned a lot just by, living in a foreign country for a while.
I'm in the same spot as you, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like that guy behind you is not amused. Or should I say it sounds like... Oh, let him wait.
I'll be polite.
Well, I'll finish off the shout outs while Pugwash is parking. Watching YouTube, Jesse2670, Cameron Clemente, Jay, Racing Brothers CVS, Exotic Gaming, and Randy Disher. If you would like your name shouted out during a live stream and you haven't been the lucky recipient of a gifted membership, click that join button down below and select either reefer hauler or flatbedder. Let's see. Yeah, Pilot Bro, even in the US, there's different spellings. Depends on who it is. Okay. Yeah, gyro is another way, Casey, but it's gyro. Yeah, I agree, Drive. It is really interesting to hear about Pugwash's former career. So I did talk about the fact that we've got this ATS driving challenge ongoing right now. And we've got 10 copies of the Kansas DLC that have been donated by 3 different members of our community. Rather Be Truck Simming, who came up with the original idea. Picard Gaming and TruckerKing have all donated copies of the DLC. And people are just driving. Let me take a look at TrucksBook real quick and see where we stand in our placings. The community has been driving in a lot of miles every day for the last, well, since it started on Sunday night. So we've got another hour left in the day because the day rolls over at midnight Central European time, and that's in 1 hour from now. So at the moment, in the last 23 hours, the community has logged over 42,000 miles towards the goal. We are still in 11th place, but we are closing in on 10th. We've got, I got to tell you, when we were in 16th place, I just didn't see any shot at hitting 11th, let alone 10th. And now we're in 11th place, and we're closing in on 10th place. So we currently have over 625,000 miles logged as a community. To catch 10th place, we need 708,000. And that is, without doing the math off the top of my head, that is well under 100,000 kilometers. Well, we were well over 200,000 kilometers behind them several days ago. So it does seem more doable, and we're well ahead of 12th place. And we were, not that long ago, we were in 12th place. So it's pretty impressive where we stand. Like I said, I've already done met my minimums in American Truck Simulator, but I wanted to continue driving in ATS to help the community push toward 10th place. We are, and yes, Casey's donating. Casey's been doing a lot. I mean, here's to give you an idea. Wim has logged almost 8,300 miles in the last 23 hours. I don't know if that's all ATS or not. Let me see. Yes. Dr. Jones has logged over 6,000 miles. Oblivion, almost 3,600 miles. Lobo, 3,100. RD04 Dave, 2,600. And Drive, over 2,500 miles. And Sue's right behind him at 2,400 miles. It is amazing what y'all are doing. And I feel like I'm not fully contributing my fair share. So I want to drive some more. We also have, so that's going to end, well, the challenge will end Sunday night, and then Monday evening we'll do the drawing for the 10 winners. And then we'll probably do some practice convoying for the folks that won. And then once the DLC is released next Thursday, then we will get them to the individuals, and then we'll also by then we'll have scheduled a series of live stream convoys for all 10 winners, as well as the donors. So it'll be exciting. So we're going to have at least probably three, at least two, probably three live stream convoys, and it'll all be in Kansas. So I don't know if we'll start outside of Kansas and go in, or just drive around Kansas. So that's going to be exciting. And I don't know if I'll be doing any early release videos for Kansas or not. I haven't. Let me check my email. I didn't even look today. Not paying attention. Yep, I haven't received a notification of that yet. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully I will. And when is the next World of Trucks Christmas package? I don't know. That should be coming up too. Anyway, we've also got another event coming up. And right now we think that we're going to schedule that for December 9th. And that will be the first annual anniversary / holiday party convoys. We're going to do a series of convoys in Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator. And I won't go into the details now because it's still kind of a work in progress. But there's going to be a lot of prizes handed out to participants and live chat audience. So it's going to be an exciting time over the next 3 weeks. That's why I haven't had much time for farming. I've been working on this. Yeah, Picard is single-handedly sponsoring the anniversary party convoys. So it was his idea, and he has ponied up with some serious prizes. Okay, that's gonna do it. Do you have any parting words there, Pugwash?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and looking forward to doing a few more runabouts with the other crews.
Yeah, no, I really have enjoyed it as well. All right, everybody. I don't know how up to date the credits are, but they're fairly up to date. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for the coffees. I don't think there was any super chats or super stickers. Nope, but there were plenty of coffees. So thanks for that. We'll see you, some of you, tomorrow at the members only live stream, and then tomorrow evening there'll be another live stream. So we'll see you then.